Yo guys, welcome back to a new video. Today I'll just be keeping it very real with you guys. I didn't prepare a script or anything. I'm just gonna talk about my experience as a brand owner. I recently hit over 1 million in sales with my brand, because if you're new here, I'm by the way Elijah Buchan from the clothing brand called Buchan. I live in Belgium and I've been running my clothing brand for about 4 years already. It's been quite a ride. I've had a lot of mistakes along the way and also a lot of lessons, and I'm gonna share with you today and just talk about my actual experience, because most of my videos are like more tutorial-like videos. Today I'll just talk about my life and my experience and how I manage everything and my struggles as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. First of all, I want to go back to the total beginning. A lot of people ask me like, how did you start, or when did you start, or how did you get the motivation or inspiration to start a clothing brand? That's like one of the most common questions I get. And the real answer is that there wasn't like an aha moment or something. There was not like one time that I thought like, this is the perfect time to start. I should start a clothing brand right now and it will pop off and grow big. No, I was just 16 years old at the time. There's a picture actually there of when I started, and I had no clue what I was doing. I still actually often don't have a clue what I'm doing. Maybe it looks like very organized from the outside, but on the inside there's like a lot of like things that get invented on the spot, or like in a photo shoot that we just say like, this could be really cool, or in content shooting that we just say, this is a cool video idea. So it's all much more like on the spot and random than you might think. It's not as organized as you all might think. But okay, the beginning. I just started off basically by cutting pants up in my stepmother's like sewing machine and then sew them all together. Oh, sorry. The Shopify sale is going on right now and it's going quite well actually. So I'll show you the results at the end of this video because it's quite motivational for the brand owners that are seeing this. So I'll show the results of Shopify at the end. So there's something to look out for. Okay, so I started out just really simply by cutting stuff up, really simple, and then I contacted local screen printers. I made stuff there. You probably all know the story if you watch my channel, but yeah, it wasn't like a perfect time or something, and that's like one of the lessons I want to give you today. There isn't a perfect time to start, not with anything, with content creation, with starting a brand, with like I don't know, whatever you want to do. There's not a perfect time to start. You should start right now or right whenever you can, because you can always wait for like the perfect moment and when the stars are aligned and when you have the best information and stuff. But sometimes you just gotta take the leap and just take that first step, and then all the other steps will follow. Because if you don't start, probably later when you're like on your deathbed, you'll regret it. Or like 80-year-old you will look back and say, damn, I should have started that brand, or should have started that YouTube channel. I really wanted to do it. So yeah, that's like my main motivation, taking the leap, taking the first step, and whatever you want to do is the first thing and the thing that's going to make you exceptional. Because everyone else is going to wait, and when you take the step, then you're already one step ahead of everyone else, and the next steps follow quickly. Then also something else, something small I want to hit on. Maybe it's like an unpopular opinion of me, but I think everything is easier than it seems. Since like building a website, for example, seems really hard, or like getting an official business, or like buying a house even. Like all these things, they seem like from the outside, and when you're like a kid or a teenager, they seem all like really hard to do. But to be fair, nothing is that hard. Everything can be figured out by like watching tutorials, asking people, and if you're like really like getting into it and like asking a lot of people about a lot of questions and information, then you figure out that nobody has a real clue about everything. Nobody knows everything about everything. So you always have to ask like, is this okay? For example, I'm now in the process of buying maybe a house or something, and that's also, everybody is just clueless about the rules, about what's possible, about how much you can lend from the bank, all these things. It's just funny to see. As a kid, you really think like everybody, like all the old people, like the adults, have it figured out. But then when you grow up, and I'm 20 years old by the way, I see that Nobody has a clue. Okay, but enough yapping, let's get down to some business. How do I run my brand, and how is it running $1 million clothing brand, and how does everything work? Because that's probably the sauce you came for in this video. I run my clothing brand, Buchan. I have about 8 employees, I think, but of course they're all like freelancers or students. I don't have like employees in my office, of course. This is, by the way, my new office. There's gonna be a video about it very soon. Yeah, so there's not like people working here every day, of course, but I have like a designer, fulfillment guy, editors, someone who does my ads and stuff. But of course they're all like doing it as a side hustle, like as a student. But yeah, I have to manage all these people, which at the beginning was really hard. I really wasn't keen to being a manager, since I started off doing everything alone, of course, designing, production, shipping everything out, all the good stuff, the good old days. And those are really some of the best days, actually. So it really has been a shift of like doing everything alone, just choosing everything myself, not having to communicate with everybody. But now I really have to just have good communication, good systems in place. For example, for retours, if there's like an issue with a parcel, that something is broken or the size doesn't fit, or the parcel just went missing or something, then we all have to have systems for all this stuff, because otherwise the entire business will just plummet and you'll just have issues and stuff. This is really something I'm learning right now. This is actually my biggest issue at the moment, I think. And I don't mean issue in a negative way, but mostly like my thing that I'm learning at the moment is how to be a good manager and how to like lead a good team. So that's like my main thing that's happening right now, which it's working well. I'm quite happy with it. And we have to plan collections about 3 to 6 months in advance. But the problem with it is that, of course, the cash flow is still stuck. At the moment, you have quite a lot of stock. That's why we're doing a back to school sale, and it's going really well, so I'm happy for it. And of course, you need money for your next collections, and production takes about 2 months. So that's like one of the biggest issues in clothing brands, is that your money is just stuck for a few months in the clothing that you have. But then you already have to buy new stuff. So you always have to balance your amounts of money that you spend, so you don't like run out of money, or you don't like buy too many inventory that it all sits there. You just have to always balance it out and never buy too much. Otherwise you get stuck with inventory, which is like one of the worst things that can happen, since then you have to wait and you can't really move on and you can't really process, which is really annoying. Having like $1 million clothing brand, it seems like as a dream scenario, but to be fair, I don't have that much money in the bank at the moment, because I have a lot of inventory, of course, and I also managing the team and paying everyone and all that good stuff. But actually having $1 million clothing brand means that you're getting profit about like 200-300k or something like that, which of course is good, but it's not like a huge business yet. It's just the beginning of something bigger, because of course you get a lot of production is like one of the biggest costs at the moment. Then of course you also have fulfillment costs, like shipping into the customers, because everything I do like mostly is online. So there are a lot of costs associated with a clothing brand, and of course also a lot of stress, because you have to really manage everything and make sure everything is done on time and stuff. So a clothing brand, to keep it real, is not the easiest business to have. It's one of the best businesses in my opinion. You really build a brand, while if you're dropshipping, for example, or like doing something similar to that, you're not really building a brand and you can't really sell it for that much. Of course, if it's like a long-lasting product, you probably can, but then it becomes like a brand. But when you have like a real name brand like this, Buchan, I can, for example, sell these t-shirts for way more than just black t-shirts or like H&M t-shirts or something like that, because I'm creating this brand name and people recognize the brand. And sometimes I often just get orders because people like the brand. So that's really powerful and something you can only create with a brand. So that's why I still think a clothing brand is one of the best businesses to start as a beginner. And that's also why I have Brand Academy, my like online community with a lot of people starting out. So if you're down, if you really want a clothing brand, check it out in the link down below. But yeah, having a clothing brand, with that said, it's stressful, man. I've been doing it for 4 years now, and there's been moments that I've just lost it all and lost my mind. It's been crazy, but for the most part, I think still it's really nice. But if you want to make quick money or like easy money, I guess, then you shouldn't do it. It's not for you. But if you're like really dedicated in like building something bigger, then it could be really, really amazing. Because one of the biggest problems with a clothing brand is that you need a lot of skills to do it. You need to be a designer, you need to handle production, you need to do fulfillment as well, marketing, photo shoots, content, reaching out to influencers. There's like a bunch of skills and even some more associated with it that like are really hard for just one person to do. Of course, you can master it all. For example, I can do all of it, but I consider myself only like a master in some of the fields because, yeah, like for example, production or fulfillment. I never want to be a pro in that. I can just hire people for that, and I can be a pro in like marketing and a little bit of designing. So yeah, that's like my whole take on like the clothing brand. And to all like young entrepreneurs and clothing brand owners and people starting out, I really want to say that you really should focus on content creation. Content creation and like personal branding, what I'm doing right here on this channel with Elijah Buchan. Of course, you know the face, you know the person behind the brand, and this is really powerful. If you look at most like new popular brands, for example, Nude Project, Trico, Broken Planet even, and also of course Cortez, like all these brands, they all are associated with the founders. And this can be really powerful because these days people love to see a face behind it. Social media, of course, is a reason for this. If you know who's behind it, then you'll trust it more, you'll like it more, and if you can associate with this person, then it's even better. If you look up to Clint, or you really want to be like Trico of mode, or like me even, then it's much better to like build a connection and build like a real good fan base. So really building a personal brand these days is also so powerful, and then combining it with a clothing brand or something similar, it can be so astronomically powerful. For example, what Mr. Beast is doing with Feastables, of course not a clothing brand, but it's similar to a clothing brand. It's just like physical products. It's so powerful. It's like it's growing so quickly, and yeah, building a personal brand, just do it. It's like the Nike quote, just do it. It's the best thing you can do. Truly, it's one of the best decisions I ever made to be public about my brand and stuff. And of course, soon I'll be launching some other platforms and other apps and stuff. I'm working on some other businesses as well. It just opens up a full world of possibilities. Also, I just connected with people on Instagram. There's like these like really famous people, by Maximize Instagram page, or Oren, like the creative director of the internet. Like all these people, I can connect with them because I have like a valid Instagram account with like a lot of followers, good posts, good content. And it just makes life so much easier and better to have good connections. Alright, I think I've done enough yapping. I'm gonna show you guys my Shopify numbers real quick to show I'm valid and not just some guru talking out of my ass here. So I'm gonna show you the Shopify numbers from the last 7 days, last week. Alright, let's see it. And by the way, guys, I know this feels a bit flexy or something, but I really just want to show these to prove you guys it's all possible. I show these in my community often, and people always just love it, love to see it. People ask for it even, to see the Shopify numbers, to get motivated about their brand, and then they get inspired and they work harder for their brand, which is the total reason I'm doing all this stuff. By the way, subscribe if you really want to see more of this and turn your ideas into physical form. And now let's see the numbers. As you can see, in the last 7 days, I made about 23k. Of course, you see a big spike here because it was the first day of the sale. Actually, that day alone, we did about 10k in sales that day alone, without spending anything on paid ads, which is just amazing. Just all organic on Instagram and email. So yeah, that was crazy. And also, one golden tip, random as fuck, but start collecting emails and SMSs from the get-go, because they're so powerful. Owning your customers is the best thing you can have, because on Instagram they can change like the algorithm, and then your post probably won't get shown to a lot of followers. So owning your customers is the #1 thing you have to do as a clothing brand owner, because then you can market to them and sell them new stuff that's coming, new drops and stuff, and it just is really, really powerful. Alright guys, with that said, make sure to subscribe for more. We're going to that 100k, so we get the play button really soon. Alright, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.